Everybody, developers and Web3 fans. This is another episode of the DAO Envelop podcast, and I'm your host, Eugene Crypto MC. And today we have Crypto Media episode. And please give a warm online welcome to my guest today. She's the blockchain lady, and she's Casey Craig. She's the global head of communications at CoinDesk. And there's no need to repeat that. CoinDesk is the top 10 crypto media. It is the leading media platform for news, insights, and analysis of the technologies which are reshaping money and commerce in the 21st century. I especially love this definition. So, Casey, it's great to have you on our podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Eugene. It's great to be here.
Let's suppose that a young lady is watching us right now and she thinks, oh, I want to be the global head of communications of a top 10 crypto media. And I want to hear the personal story of Casey. Please tell us briefly, how did you become a head of communication of the top 10 crypto media? It looks like a great personal path.
Absolutely. So I started my career at Waxman PR, which is a crypto-only PR agency. At the time, we were based in Wall Street. And then before that, to be honest, I really wanted to be a journalist. So I kind of ended up at Waxman randomly through Indeed. So glad I did, because it ended up like changing my entire career path. And just so you know, I had no background in technology, finance, anything. To be honest with you, the jobs I had before working at Waxman included a stint at Wilhelmina and then selling timeshares in Breckenridge, Colorado. So I had no background in this space at all. I did study writing. So like, as I said, I wanted to be a journalist, but joined Waxman in May 2017 during the ICO boom. And then by that December, Bitcoin had hit 20 grand. So it essentially was a crash course in crypto. We worked with such ICOs as Polymath, T0, CoinDesk was one of our clients. We worked with Dash, IOHK. So some heavy hitters. And so since CoinDesk was my client, fast forward to last year, they asked me to come back in-house and run all the communications, which I'm just so privileged to be here. It's, in short, it is kind of my dream job. CoinDesk was the first really big, prolific client that we had. And yeah, I love everything about CoinDesk. So I'm really happy to be here.
So you had no technical education about Web3. No problem. Nobody has a technical education,
Nope.
but then they enjoy it. But you had a lot to learn during. How did you learn? By walking on an everyday basis, or you consumed a lot of resources, podcasts, YouTube, and so on and so forth? How did you learn about free? And how would you suggest to learn about free for newbies, especially for crypto journalists, maybe?
Totally. That's a great question too. I mean, I think the best thing to do is read. Read every morning, just read anything, asking questions with people that you meet in the space that have a lot of background knowledge and gain that way. But I do think reading is critical. And I'm not just saying this because I'm from a media company, but reading from sources, like a diversity of sources, like anything from Twitter to Reddit. Take it with a grain of salt, but there is some interesting insight there. But also reading like what the Wall Street Journal says, what Barron says, Bloomberg, even a lot of these like other pop culture publications like Rolling Stone, Harvard Business Review. I mean, read everything across the board and then kind of formulate your own opinion. But I think that's the best way to learn is don't just read one source, read many, and you'll catch up.
Well, so to your blockchain lady, a future blockchain lady who is listening to us right now, the first recommendation from Casey Craig is learn a lot of Web3. Read a lot. Those are the first recommendation. Till the end of our podcast, we will have sort of suggestions for every lady who wants to become a crypto star, the blockchain queen. Okay, Casey, is it hard to be the global head of communication of CoinDesk, or how does your typical working day look like? Explain us.
Depends on the day. No, it's great. It's great. It is tricky. I mean, a lot of people ask me, how does it work to be in PR at a media company? And like, how does communication work? And it's tricky. I mean, you're working for a company whose role is like their voice. I mean, so it's kind of hard, to be very like logistical. It's very hard to get journalists to appear on competing networks, and having also other competing journalists at the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg interview our journalists. I think before there was that would just never happen. I mean, like, why would you have a journalist who you're competing with on your own, in your own article or on your own TV show? And what we've seen over the years is that we've been positioned CoinDesk as a leading news site, but also more of like a leading resource. Like, we're breaking the news, but also we're publishing market reports. We have our own indices company for pricing. So we're not seen so much as a threat to these competing news organizations anymore, more as a resource for them to use. And I think because of that, it's changed. So since then, you know, we go on CNBC at least 4 times a month, Yahoo. We're quoted in everything from Vice to, you know, The Verge to Market Watch regularly, the Wall Street Journal. I mean, just everything across the board. So I do think it is hard to get to that point. However, you know, it is possible. I think like a typical day for me is there's a lot of calls, it's a lot of Zooms, but it's good. And, you know, a lot of it is reading, writing still. You know, we have consensus coming up. So my day is mainly filled with inviting media to consensus, ensuring that we get some good coverage beforehand and during, and just making sure there's no loose ends as we kind of gear up into the final month to the event.
What things are you mostly excited in your job?
I mean, I love the journalists. It's like, it's so cool that we are literally breaking news that changes the entire news cycle. I mean, for instance, last week, I saw a piece that we published on Do Kwon as one of the anonymous creators of another stable coin. It was picked up 200 times. I mean, everyone was coming back to our site to write their articles on that story. And that's what makes me really excited, because we're changing. I mean, we're in this like ever-changing, super fast-paced industry, but we are really the leading voice on that. And that's what makes me so excited. That and just all the journalists we work with. You know, this past week, I was at CBS Studios with one of our journalists, Helene, who's a markets reporter, but she graduated from, it was funny, we did CBS on Tuesday, and Wednesday she graduated from NYU with her master's degree. So she's pretty young still. I mean, she went like right after undergrad, but that's something else that I get really excited about, is that we're just giving all of our journalists a voice, whether they've been here for 10 years or 6 months. Everyone has a chance to share their stories, you know, the arc of how they got their stories. And they're not just another name that you see like as the author, but they're, you know, they get to create their own identity and be recognized publicly.
I mean, even don't imagine how big is your networking in the blockchain industry. Are you familiar with the vast majority of world-renowned blockchain stars, started with Vitalik Buterin and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't met Vitalik in person. I don't think many people have. I haven't met him in person, but I have been in the space since 2017. So I guess that's considered a while. Yeah, I guess most people consider that a while. And, you know, when you're in PR, like, you have so many different clients and you go to a lot of different events. So I'm really lucky. That's part of my job is, you know, even before the pandemic, we're doing so much in person. And it's, you know, maybe it's a coincidence, probably not, given the amount of time I spend in this space, but I'd say 75% of my friends are in crypto in some way. So, you know, it's kind of like my entire life.
Well, there's absolutely no secret that crypto projects want to be partnering with crypto medias for their marketing purposes. This is the no-brainer. So, of course, you see a lot of projects who do not pay for advertising, who want to get a free press release and sponsor for you. Do understand what I'm speaking about? So please name 3 main mistakes every crypto project should avoid when dealing with crypto media, such big as CoinDesk, for marketing.
Totally. I mean, number 1, never go public to market with a project if you're not ready. Don't ever rush a project that is still in beta or it's still shaky. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do that because, like, let's say, I mean, I remember during the ICO boom, all of these companies are trying to do their ICO to get money quickly, but the company itself wasn't ready. So when they went to market, the ICO exposed all the vulnerabilities in that company. So never go public, never get publicity until your company is 100% baked. Otherwise, you'll just expose a lot of other internal issues with your company. And it will just kind of delay your progress entirely. So never do anything before you're ready. I think number 2 is it's really obvious when other companies do pay for play. So not just advertising, but like when you're paying for certain media articles and stuff, and that's kind of the bulk of your marketing, it's very obvious that you're doing that. And I think another third one too, it's kind of obvious, but it's relying only on one channel for marketing. So if you're all over Twitter, great, but you should be diversifying your marketing, and you should include social channels, as well as pitching to like quality like publications, whether they're trade or they're more top tier publications in the industry for whatever is most relevant to your company.
Well, there are a lot of hundreds of sort of guerrilla marketing strategies, a lot of books, a lot of coaches coach how to get advertising free, almost free. And I think perhaps this strategy works even when working with top crypto medias. Maybe share some tips or life hacks, if it is allowed, of course, from, from the politics, how crypto startup with a tight budget can get featured on press platforms without paying or almost without paying.
Oh, totally. I mean, you know what? It is, PR firms are expensive, marketing firms are expensive, but if you have a tight budget, you know what will get you more, well, you know, it has more ROI than just paying thousands of dollars in advertising. If you have that one amazing feature in the Wall Street Journal or Bloomberg or us, that verifies your company, and it gives the public will trust you based on that one article. So you don't have that much budget, that's fine. Maybe you hire an intern and you groom them to be in-house PR. Maybe you just have someone who's a good writer and you're pitching those journalists. But I would kind of think of it as, if you have a tight budget, think of quality over quantity. And I think that's a good way to succeed and make sure that your brand is featured in really top tier valued press.
You know, I especially love your United States model of business of crypto media, because every big crypto media runs its own branded conference. For example, Bitcoin Magazine runs Bitcoin Miami conference, and CoinDesk runs Consensus, the renowned branded. And the next Consensus is upcoming in 20 days, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What to expect from Consensus 2022?
Oh my gosh, so much. Well, first of all, Consensus, we moved to Austin. So anyone that came in the past, we were in New York. We have moved to Austin. We're taking on a festival model. So think of South by Southwest, but for crypto. And if you haven't been to South by, just think of it as more, you know, decentralized. But honestly, it's going to be all these panels, amazing speakers in the Austin Convention Center. And then everything around and like a walking distance around that is going to be experiences. So we have everything from a DAO house to a sport court. We're going to have like events every night, top performers. We have everyone from like Bob Moses to Latasha and Redman. So these amazing DJs. Like on Saturday night, we have the Meta Gala, which is going to be one of the first of its kind crypto event. That's kind of more of like a society event. So like red carpet, formal attire is required. So it's kind of all of the above. So in short, what to expect from Consensus is going to be amazing programming, but expect something that's more immersive festival model than just sitting in an auditorium and listening to a panel.
Well, if the project wants to become a sponsor on the Consensus or to be featured on the Consensus physically, whom should he contact? What is the responsible direct person?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're interested in sponsoring Consensus, I would reach out to events at CoinDesk.com, and we can see what we can do. Okay.
So, Casey, what are your thoughts about NFTs in general? Buzzword, but like a concept. Will NFT be able to change our world drastically, our lives, our business in, let's say, 10 upcoming years?
Absolutely. So from a media perspective, I love NFTs as a concept. They have actually brought crypto to the mainstream. I think people have been saying this for years, but before NFTs, I never saw crypto mentioned in Rolling Stone or Vogue. Vogue has an entire writer that's dedicated to crypto now through NFTs and the convergence of fashion. So NFTs are what really, I think, has brought crypto to mainstream attention and like a mass audience. I think as a business concept, to be really honest with you, I do see a little bit of a bubble. I do think like, you know, theoretically a non-fungible token makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't make sense for every single application that is out there right now. So I do think we're in a bit of a bubble. It's kind of similar to the crypto market itself, where we are going to probably trim the fat and get rid of some of the NFT projects that really don't make any sense. And they just kind of use the word NFT as a marketing ploy. However, I do think that as a concept for something that is benefiting the creator economy, ensuring artists have like rights over their own works, I think that will last. I think we can't go back to the way things were because it's been it's so beneficial for the creators themselves.
Now, I'd love to ask you a kind of specific question from our team. We would love to have your opinion about that. Our Envelop project is specialized in so-called wrapping protocol of NFTs. It's very, very easy concept to understand. If you're not familiar with, I will explain it shortly. Please imagine a sort of web-free Louis Vuitton leather wallet for crypto, or Prada wallet, I don't know, whatever brand you like. And this concept allows to take a crypto, let's say USDT or Bitcoin and Ethereum, and to put it inside NFT, and this NFT becomes a sort of web-free Louis Vuitton leather wallet. So it leads to dozens of use cases in games, art, land NFTs, and so on and so forth. So NFT has gotten an intrinsic value. What do you think about this concept in general? Would it be useful for any purposes you are familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it will be really valuable. And like, I think the main reason is because a wrapped NFT specifically, or even a wrapped token, it makes it so that you don't have to, it breaks it free from its native blockchain. So if you have like a wrapped token or a wrapped NFT, it's easier to trade it like through like the Bitcoin blockchain or the Ethereum blockchain. So I think that's a great way to like decentralize the market and make like trading easier. It is like a very, very new concept. I mean, like as I told you earlier, I always read, so I wasn't super familiar with this topic. And when I was researching it earlier, it hasn't even been widely covered yet. So it does seem fairly new. I couldn't find a ton of use cases that have used this yet, but I think as a concept for trading, it makes a lot of sense. So I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm really excited to see more use cases come out of it.
Well, I would suggest here one of the use cases of this concept is one crypto fund, for example, wants to buy tokens from a crypto project. It is quite better, and we saw such as use cases to buy these tokens in the form of wrapped NFT. They are look like packaged token in the form of wrapped NFT. It avoids, for example, dumps of tokens. When token is dumped, it is not good situation for anybody, and this concept avoids it. It's one of the renowned use cases, and we recently did this case. So for your knowledge of how it could be used, because you need to learn what's going on regarding all that. What are your main thoughts about decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAO in general?
Great question. I mean, I think DAOs as a concept are really, really, really interesting. To be very honest with you, as a business model, I find them a little, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. So like with DAOs, it's awesome. Everything's decentralized. Everyone's able to vote on, they all have voting power for what they purchase and like the purchasing power. But if you kind of think of DAOs and like there's no, that business model where everything is decentralized and everyone has the same vote, there's a reason why it hasn't worked in traditional business. So I do think DAOs are great. I love the sense of community. I don't really know if it makes a lot of sense moving forward. Like it's kind of, I think DAOs they're probably going to go through like some growing pains and a little bit of like readjustment. And I do think that, I also think with DAOs at the end of the day, someone is going to have to kind of step in as the leader. Not everyone really has equal voting power. There's going to be someone in that organization that needs to have some kind of leadership. And there's like, soon as there's one person of leadership, I think it's going to be broken down into more of a hierarchy. So I guess we'll just kind of see, now that the market's down, how DAOs are going to come out of it.
Another buzzword we are all familiar with is Metaverse.
Yep.
Another good trend. What is your perception of the Metaverse? How do you see that?
Great question. It's also, how do you define the Metaverse? I mean, I've heard so many different interpretations. I personally think the Metaverse is a completely immersive experience that is VR, and your wallet is connected and you are in the virtual world. Some people kind of look at it a little bit more holistically, where technically we're all in the Metaverse, we're all talking on like decentralized platforms, but my interpretation of it, it is a virtual world. Imagine I'm in the Metaverse and I'm able to, like, one of my favorite use cases for it is fashion, for a few reasons. I'm a consumer that buys everything from online. I've always been that way. And so, but now if I'm able to enter the metaverse. I'm able to go to Fendi in the metaverse or Gucci or like even Gap. And I'm somehow able to use my digital avatar and try on those clothes in the metaverse and purchase it. And I have a copy of those clothes for my digital avatar. So that looks really trendy. And then also a physical copy that I can wear. That makes a lot of sense to me. As a consumer, I would be really excited by that. And it makes a lot of sense logistically. Something when you buy clothes online, they never really quite fit, you know, sometimes it's not the material that you wanted. If there was a way that we could replicate the sensory experience of purchasing in person in the metaverse, I think that is like $1 trillion business model.
What to expect from CoinDesk till the end of 2022? What are CoinDesk plans for this year?
Consensus. So first, consensus. I think it's going to be a huge success. I think it's going to be the most people we've ever had at consensus. I hope coming out of consensus, everyone learns something new. Everyone meets a lot of new people. And I hope everyone kind of walks away with an experience that, crypto, they thought crypto was this, but we kind of elevated it to something else. That's kind of my biggest goal for consensus for the rest of 2022. If you are a journalist and you are looking to write about crypto, please talk to us. We are looking to build out our team globally. I think we're at about 140 full-time employees, but as the crypto and blockchain space grows, so does our team, so that we make sure that we're covering all the different niches and parts of the industry. I think that's pretty much it. We want to be a 24/7 global news platform.
Well, how personally are you involved in consensus? Will you be moderating there, or will you be part of the team, or you will be making media contents? What are your tasks regarding consensus?
Everything. Everything and then some. We have 240 journalists from other organizations coming, so I want to make sure all their needs are met. We have our own journalists coming, that's about 100. I'm a big part of the planning committee for the Metagal on Saturday night, a media only event the first night. I'm probably moderating something. I'm not sure what it will be yet, but I'm basically, all of our team, we're all working so hard. So it's not really just me, but our whole team across the consensus team, we're just trying to make sure that the event runs smoothly, people have a good time. We just want to make sure everything goes well.
Well, your friends know that you are working in the crypto media and they are not crypto people. Do they ask you to explain what the hell is crypto, what the hell is crypto wallet, why do we need it? So do you act as a teacher for them? Do you need that?
Yeah, it happens a lot, but you know what? So I think, it's funny, 2 years ago, it was what's crypto? Someone asked me, do you work for Bitcoin? I used to get that a lot. Like, do you work for Bitcoin as if it's a company? But now the question I get asked a lot, which is kind of annoying, is what should I invest in? It's like, I would never give someone investment advice. I always say, just like come to CoinDesk, read, make a decision based after reading. But yeah, so I think right now the biggest question is, the question this week, are you in pain? Does it hurt? It's like, what, from the market? For us, actually, when the market's volatile, it's actually good for us because more people are coming to our site, checking the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, reading. I guess in short, the latest question I've been getting is, are you in pain? And the answer is no.
Okay. So, I know a lot of media guys and media ladies in the crypto space, but this doesn't mean that if the person works in the crypto media, doesn't mean that he or she is the very experienced crypto user. How experienced are you personally? For example, do you accept crypto? Do you pay by crypto? Do you invest in crypto? Do you use DeFi or NFT or maybe you are learning how to write smart contracts and so on and so forth? You do understand what I'm saying?
Totally. I don't know how to write smart contracts yet. I would say that I'm honestly just a little bit above a novice. I would never say that I'm an expert at coding, DeFi, or writing smart contracts. I read about it. We talk about it, but I'm not actually, practicing that. I have been trading crypto since 2017, no crazy amounts, just a lot to play with. So I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means, but I have, had some small I've always been involved in some small aspect, depending on what it is. But I'm definitely not one of those people that hop on the bandwagon. Some people get mad at me because I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you got to buy this NFT. And I ask why, what's the use case behind it? What's the value? And if they can't answer it, I'm not buying it. And I think in this space, a lot of it is kind of you all hop on the bandwagon together. That's part of the community. And I'm kind of the Debbie Downer and I don't always say yes, but I'm very, very, very adamant about you always have to read before you buy something. Like you have to do your research before you buy anything in the space.
When I joined crypto movement 5 years ago in 2017 in the famous ICO hype, there was a lot of crypto medias of different qualities, but few of them survived. CoinDesk has been one of them. So what are your criteria of quality crypto media? Why to read, to follow CoinDesk, compare with competitors?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I think what makes, I think what makes a media organization high quality in my mind is it's not pay for play. So their articles are based on their organic interest and what they determine as newsworthy. Meaning that it's something that will change the news cycle, it'll change the market, it's groundbreaking, it'll make an impact. I think it's like the quality of journalists is based on that, their ability to kind of peek under the hood and see like what else is going on here. Also providing counter arguments is really important. A news organization that just writes in the same opinion across the whole organization, that's not good news. They're not covering both sides of the story. They're not providing the counter argument. And I think that's kind of rare because in crypto, there's a lot of fluff sometimes. It's like everybody wants to say the same thing. And some people are a little nervous because they might be patronized if they say, well, why is that? Or I actually don't agree with that. But I do think it is important to always provide both sides of the argument.
I know if it's your responsibility, but I have to ask you, if is CoinDesk hiring somebody for now?
Yes.
Jonas, whom do you need? Maybe somebody is listening to us for now. And
everyone. Seriously, everyone. I think we're hiring in every role across the board. We always want journalists. Like, we always are interested in writers because we are a media company, but we are interested in almost every role in between. But if you're a journalist and you want to work for CoinDesk, please reach out. It doesn't matter if you have 5 years of experience or 2 months. We're not really, our criteria is just that you're a quick learner. You're committed to writing about this space. You are intellectually curious. So yeah, in short, we are hiring everyone, but especially journalists. So please feel free to reach out. I think on our website, you can find like a list for the job listings and apply. So we would love to have you.
Is it possible, Casey, to follow you personally on the internet? And what's the best way to do it? Twitter, LinkedIn?
Totally. Yeah, both. I mean, I'm on Twitter at Casey Craig. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. I don't know why. I just really like it. So I'm on LinkedIn a lot. So if you're trying to reach me, I'm more likely to respond on LinkedIn for now than Twitter. Excellent.
So dear future blockchain queen, the first recommendation from Casey, learn a lot. And the second recommendation should have been just try to work on the crypto media, just become a crypto journalist, for example. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
This is the way. Thank you very much. Casey Craig, the global head of communication of CoinDesk and Eugene Crypto MC. Whether you in this episode of the DAO Envelop podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and feel free to join Web3 because Web3, it is not our future, it is our present. And join Consensus 2022 if you are somewhere around there. Austin, Texas, right?
Yes, Austin, Texas, June 7th through 9th.
Okay, so all the links are in the description. Please be subscribed to our YouTube channel, join our Telegram chat, and become a DAO, join our DAO Ambassadors program. And stay tuned for next episodes of the DAO Envelop podcast. Bye-bye. Blockchain, B-L-O-C-K chain. Digital money, smart contracts, NFT, IDO, decentralization, transparency. So many opportunities, but so many challenges. Some financial manipulators, by their actions, confuse blockchain solutions and block their development. The idea that the blockchain should bring copyright and royalties protection to the next level is quite old, but the realizations of these ideas are not perfect at all. There is another problem of determining the value of a particular cryptocurrency or NFT. These and other problems need to be solved. Fortunately, the blockchain infrastructure is evolving. My name is Mr. E, and I represent the Envelop project. Many things have already been invented in the blockchain today. Tokens, smart contracts, platforms for creating your own coins, NFTs, exchanges for buying, selling, and exchanging all these blockchain resources. Envelop is another step in the development of crypto technologies. The protocol that works with NFT and cryptocurrencies. The idea is simple but disruptive. Let's assume you have an NFT, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Using the Envelop protocol, you can wrap the original NFT accompanied with several tokens. Technically, you get a similar NFT, but what is the breakthrough here? Once wrapped, the token has a number of additional features that were not available before. The minimal cost appears. It is provided with coins wrapped together with NFT. An asset wrapped with Envelop has a number of properties that allow the original author to receive royalties from the resale of that asset. Various rules can be applied to the wrapped token. For example, a lock period for unwrapping. It secures the asset till the determined moment or safeguards it from speculation during the hype period. At the same time, wrapped tokens can be transferred and traded. These are just some of the scenarios for using Envelop. NFTs become more popular, and the tools provided by Envelop expand the opportunities of NFTs utilization. Wide application possibilities are achieved due to the fact that, in addition to the protocol, the project includes a number of subsystems. The protocol provides functions wrapping and unwrapping. Oracle Mechanics provides asset valuation using analytical algorithms. Index provides a summary assessment of several NFT assets with the common criteria. The project has its own token, which connects all elements of the system. Altogether, this is Envelop, a tool in the blockchain world for building modern and secure systems in various fields. Find more info about the project on the website. Envelop. Make your NFT valuable. Just practical, no hype.